My name is Nick Hamilton, and I'm here tonight to thank each and every one of you for coming out. This event has been in the work for 3 months now, and I can't tell you how excited I am for y'all to hear from former Congressman Joe Walsh tonight. I'm the president of Christians for Freedom, and it's been our honor to work with Students at Liberty for Gun Rights and Turning Point USA to put this on. We couldn't have done it without them. Christians for Freedom is a club here on campus that was launched in December of 2015, and it's been an incredibly successful semester. Our foundation is the Bill of Rights because we believe that within it our founders implanted a tool for us to fight tyranny. Tonight, Christians for Freedom is opening up our memberships for next year, and if you're a member this year, we want to renew it at a discounted rate. Students at Liberty University are different from students at other schools. At what other school would you find students willing to give up their Friday night to come out to a political event? Tonight, we're here to fight for freedom. We're here to fight for the principles of limited government, religious liberty, conservatism. We're here because we all know that the direction of this country is not in the right direction. But let me tell you something. The politicians in D.C. are not getting the job done. So who's going to step up to the plate? If the politicians in D.C. and across the country aren't going to get the job done, it's up to you and me, it's up to the millennials and college students and young people to see that this country continues to be great for generations to come. The founders gave up their lives, they gave up their financial wealth and time to ensure that this country was started. And it was one of the most beautiful gifts that God's ever given us. But today, we have bakers in Oregon who get fined $135,000 for refusing to bake a cake for a same-sex wedding. And what happened when they refused to bake that cake? They were at risk for having their property taken away. We have Atlanta City Fire Chief Kelvin Cochran, who was fired from his position for authoring a devotional, which briefly spoke about the biblical definition of marriage on his own time. We have the pastors in Houston, Texas, who had their sermons subpoenaed by the government for speaking out against a bill that would allow men and women's restrooms and vice versa. We have gun-free zones across the country, which restrict our ability to protect against tyranny and defend ourselves and our freedom. And we have government so big that it strangles small business owners by the throat, who all they want to do is provide for their family and live a good life. The founders would be rolling in their grave. Like I said, it's one of the most beautiful gifts God's ever given to creation. This is why we have brought each and every one of you here tonight, because it's up to us. It's up to the young people. We are the future. We have an obligation to the Lord to make sure that this country continues in freedom and continues to be great for generations to come. It's not politicians in D.C. who make this country great. It's people like you and I who wake up every morning and desire to have the Great Commission lived out. It's people like you and I who desire to have freedom reign in America so the gospel can flourish. But at the end of the day, if we can worship freely, if we can protect ourselves with firearms, and we have limited government, but forget yet to do what God's called us to do first, it's all for naught. It is our duty to continue to see this country in freedom, for faith, for freedom, and for liberty, because the future of America is in our hands. And what are you going to choose to do with it? This is why we've asked former Congressman Joe Walsh to join us tonight, because he understands the direction of this country, he understands the crooked politicians in D.C., and he understands how implemental and important young people are to the future of this country. And you'll get to hear from him in just a few minutes. But for now, I'd like to introduce to you President of Turning Point USA, A.J. Strong.
Good evening, everyone. As Nick said, my name is A.J. Strom, and I am president of Turning Point USA at Liberty University. Turning Point USA was founded in June of 2012 by Charlie Kirk. When Charlie founded Turning Point USA, it had nothing. But now, Turning Point is represented on over 1,000 college campuses and high schools. Turning Point USA is dedicated to educating students about limited government, fiscal responsibility, and free markets. And we want you to get involved. The first way you can do that is by following us on Facebook and Twitter at LUTPUSA. We're also having an interest meeting this Tuesday, May the 3rd, in the Jerry Falwell Library, Conference Room 261B at 6:30, and we would love to see all of you there. It is now my great pleasure to introduce President of Students at Liberty for Gun Rights, Jordan Stein.
Thank you, AJ. Like he said, I'm Jordan Stein, President of Students at Liberty for Gun Rights. Students at Liberty for Gun Rights has had an awesome year. We started out the year with the Constitution Week, giving out over 400 constitutions. We hosted Eric Pratt of Gun Owners of America. We went shooting and shot 50 caliber sniper rifles. And now we're finishing off the year with hosting Congressman Joe Walsh. When Walsh went to Congress, he went to get back our freedoms. From a Second Amendment perspective, he introduced a bill that would end UN gun control. And now he's heard across the country with his radio show, which you should definitely check out at walshfreedom.com/listen. But before Walsh comes up, we got a quick video.
So I set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. Our Father, which art in Washington.
This is not the country I grew up in. I'm angry because this is not the country I grew up in. I'm here to deliver a message from the rest of the country.
This is the most entrepreneurial, energetic, innovative, hardworking country in the history of the planet, and we're being chained.
We are patriots who believe in freedom. Doggone it, we're going to have a party that represents us, or else.
Somebody out there gave Tea Party darling Joe Walsh a radio show.
Joe Walsh, up-and-coming rising star.
U.S. Congressman Joe Walsh is a Republican from Illinois.
This is why has no proposal come on your show, because it tends to get childish.
How many more times are we going to allow our God-given rights to be infringed upon? This is the next step in a mission to try to save this thing. What are you prepared to do to save this country?
Wow. That's a really cool video. Can we watch that like 7 more times? Who wants to watch that again? That's awesome. I went on the TV with Chris Matthews and I called him a big bully. It's probably my highlight in Congress was arguing with Chris Matthews on MSNBC. Hey, it's great to be here. Thank you all for taking a Friday night. No matter your age, no matter your political persuasion, I appreciate any time anybody takes 5 or 10 minutes to think about this country. And I want you to do me a favor. How much time? We got what? We got 2.5, 3 hours? How much time do we have? We're locking the doors. We're closing the doors. Nobody can get out. I want you to do me a favor, especially all you youngsters, all you young Liberty University students. I want you to do me a favor, man, right now. I want you to get school out of your head. It's hard. Get rid of it. That cute boy that you've been talking to, lose him for the next 45 minutes. I don't want you to think about what you're going to do tonight. I don't want you to think about your exams. I don't want you to think about the fact that your mom and dad want you to get some sort of job this summer and you don't really know what you want to do. I want you to forget for the next 45 minutes that you're a college student. Just get it out of your head. And then I'm going to ask you to do something even more important. For a moment, forget that you're a faithful Christian. I mean it. That's a leap, but do it for me. Take that leap with me. You're not a college student. You are, but right now, forget that you're a faithful young Christian. A faithful young Christian boy or a faithful young Christian girl. I want you to get that out of your head. And for the next 45 minutes or so, however long we talk here, doggone it, and I'm going to watch my language. I tend to get really wound up and I say things I shouldn't say. I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm going to watch my language. Where's my wife? Helene, I'm not going to swear. I can't swear here. There are some college campuses I can go on and I can let it rip. I'm not going to do that here. I know you're waiting for that. It's not coming. I'm not going to swear. In fact, I never used to swear. Now I swear every day. I never swore. Who's our president? Obama. I never swore until Obama got elected. And now I tend to swear every single day. That doesn't make me proud. I'm just telling you the truth. See, I'm one of these politicians that just tells you the truth. I don't like Barack Obama. I think Barack Obama hates America. I just tell you what I think. I'm sick of the Republican Party. Do you want to know why we have Donald Trump? Why in God's name do we have a guy like Donald Trump who will be our nominee? Don't laugh about it. Don't wish for Cruz. Don't wish for Kasich. Don't wish for 17-year-old Marco Rubio. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. Donald Trump is gonna be your nominee. And I'm gonna guess, I wasn't the smartest member of Congress, but I'm gonna guess that fact probably doesn't make most people in this room happy. But it's gonna happen. Why is Trump going to be our nominee? Because the Republican Party, this will probably be the worst word I say all night. Why is Trump going to be the nominee? This will be the closest I come to swearing tonight. Why will Donald Trump be our nominee? Because the Republican Party sucks. We'll get into that. Because the Republican Party, as it is now, sucks. And that's why we have Donald Trump. But get school out of your head. Get what you're doing tomorrow out of your head. Get your finals next week out of your head. And the fact that you are a young, faithful Christian, get it out of your head right now. I want you to think and I want you to believe that you are a soldier. You are a warrior. I want you to believe, and I know it's hard. Thankfully, we have people my age in this room. I'm 84. Thankfully. I look good for 84. Thankfully, we have people my age in this room. And I'll tell you what, when I stand everywhere I go around the country, and when I speak on my radio show, and when I say the following words, you guys don't get it yet because you're too young. God bless you. You're so young. I wish I were 20 years old again. I wish I were 19. I wish I were 21. Because here's the beauty about being 19, 20, or 21. When you're 19, 20, 21, or 22, your world is this big. Look at my world. Look at my world. Inside this world, I've got my family. Inside this world, I got my boyfriend. I got my girlfriend. I've got school. I've got Liberty University. I've got my world, and this is my world. And I don't think about what's going on out there. I don't think about the fact that this country is $200 trillion in debt. I don't think about that. I don't think about the fact that now we live in a country, you can go to the bathroom anywhere. Doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. Right now in America, you can go to the bathroom anywhere with anybody. Right now in America, you can marry anybody. You don't think about that when you're 20, 21, or 22 because you've got your world. It's a wonderful age. But when I stand in front of young people and I tell young people, America is toast. America is pretty much gone. As Nicholas said, the country that guys like, what are their names? You know their names. That's the problem, by the way. So many people in America no longer remember these names. Jefferson, Adams, and Madison, Washington. Bunch of old white guys. Most people don't even know those names anymore. But when I tell young people, I don't live in the country Adams, Madison, and Jefferson gave us. I don't. When I tell young people, I don't live in a free country, I don't. When I say that to young people, even though they're kind of with me, but they think, here's an old guy with gray hair, he's saying something I kind of sort of don't understand. And I get that because remember, this is your world. I want you for the next now 35 minutes, get outside your world. And think about the country. When I say, this is not the country I grew up in, you get it. You get it. Everybody over the age of 28 gets it. You know, there it is. I do this all the time. I lose everything, my water. When I go on the radio show, and I say that, and I stole that, because a caller, a woman in her mid-70s, called me up on the radio about 6 months ago and said, Joe, The problem with America is this isn't the country I grew up in. And right away I went like that. That's it. If you are your parents' age right now, when I say this isn't the country I grew up in, your parents understand what that means. Your parents get that. It's not. There's something so wrong about America. So wrong about America right now. And I know we're caught up, right? We know this is going to be the most idiotic, craziest, I'm watching my language, most bizarre election in our life. Donald freaking Trump against Hillary Clinton. Yeah, so who said yuck? That's a yuck. That's a total yuck. That's a total bleh. But you know what? Why do we have it? Why do we have a yuck? The country, and you know what? A lot of people say America is on a bad path. Boy, I'll tell you, we're on a bad direction right now. If we don't watch it, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Boy, oh boy, something bad's going on in America right now. Forget that. America's gone. Why did it get here? Why did we get to a point where the best that we can do right now, and everybody says, this is the most important election in my life, that's a bunch of hooey. But people say that now, this is the most important election in my life. If it's the most important election in your life, why do I have to vote for Trump or Hillary? I don't want to. Mom, I don't want to vote for Trump or Hillary. I want to vote for Joe Walsh. I want to vote for Rand Paul. I want to vote for Ted Cruz. I want to,
2020. Joe Walsh 2020.
If Hillary wins, I'm running in 2020.
Running anyway.
People wouldn't vote for me.
I think we all would.
I've got 2 votes. 3. I've got 4. I'm beating Hillary 4-0 right now.
Andrew White.
It's still really, that's questionable. It's still really early. What do I mean when I say this isn't the country we grew up in? Here's what I mean, and you know what I mean. And I don't know where to start, but I'm going to start here. Right now, every dollar I make, right now in America, every dollar I make, I lose half of it. Right now, every dollar I make. Who's got a dollar? You have a dollar? Somebody give me a dollar. Somebody give me a dollar. Come on, come on, come on. Somebody give me a dollar. Give me a dollar. Give me a dollar. I can't go into that purse. I'll get lost. Somebody give me a dollar. Boom, I got a dollar. This, right now in America, for every dollar I work hard for, the average American loses half of it. Right now in America, every dollar I make, 50% goes to all governments. 50% goes to D.C., 50% or Virginia. What town are we in? Lynchburg. What county? What county are we in? 50%, 50 cents of every dollar I make goes to government right now. I'm losing half of what I work hard for right now. And see, you all think, the young people in the room thinks, well, that's terrible. That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem fair. In fact, you might even use a word that I use. That sucks. That's not right. Why would your mom and dad work so hard to lose half of every dollar they make? The money they make should be theirs. It should go to their family. It should go to their church. It should go to their community. It should go to their favorite charity. It should go to start a business. It should go to hire people. It's their money. Here's the deal, though, guys. Right now, I'm losing half of what I make. If things don't change in America, where'd I get my dollar? He works for the government. Do you see that? Did you see how quickly he did that? I'll take it. Give it to me. If things don't change, and I was in D.C. for 2 years. I worked with Republicans and Democrats. If things don't change, guys, when you're an old guy like me, it's not going to be 50 cents. It's going to be about 80 cents. It's going to be about 85 cents. When you are my age, every dollar you make, you're handsome, you're smart. Ladies, he's handsome and smart. Stand up. Just an example of handsome and smart. Sit down. He's going to make good money. He's going to make really good money one day. He would be a catch. In my day, we called him a catch. He's going to make a lot of money one day. But think about that. 85 cents of every dollar he makes is going to be gone. That's just part of it. That's just part of it. We were given this thing, as Nicholas said, this amazing, beautiful thing. I love to say this, and I love to say this in front of young audiences, because I'm not talking about, and Nicholas wasn't talking about something that happened 1,000 or 2,000 years ago, right? America started 230 some years ago. Not that long ago, we were given a gift. It had never been done before, right? I love to say this because I want you to think about this. Do you know America is the only country in the history of the world that was founded upon an idea? Had never been done before. Hasn't been done since. The only country in the history of the world founded upon an idea. Countries weren't like that. You lived in a country. Countries were formed based on who you were, what your family was, what your position in life was, what your race was, what your ethnicity was. And then along came America, and America said, our founders said, no, we're going to do something different here. I got an idea. It's called freedom, okay? And it's like our founders put up a big billboard 234 years ago, and they said they put up a big billboard for the world to see, and it said freedom. Everybody who wants freedom, come here. Everybody who wants freedom, come here. You want to worship whatever God you want to worship, come here. You want to hang out with whoever you want to hang out with, come here. Play with me. You want to sleep with whoever you want to sleep with, come here. You want to say whatever you want to say, come here. You want to start a business and grow that business, come here. You want to get rich, come here. Man, we don't understand anymore what a unique thing that was. What a unique thing that was. And then it happened. For 100 and some years, what did everybody do? They came here. Everybody, the best and the brightest, all the people who wanted opportunity, all the people who wanted to get rich, all the people who wanted to strike it on their own from all over the world, they came here. They came here. I want to start a church, and I don't want my king or my government to tell me I cannot worship my God. They came here. I know you're in college. But man, that's the coolest thing in the world. Because since America, no other country has done that. So I stand before you today, and I say on the radio every day, and when I was in Congress, I said to my Republican colleagues every day, we don't have that America anymore. We've lost it. Nicholas mentioned it. You know, you live in a country now, we all do, where if you think a certain way or you speak a certain way, you'll lose your job. We live in a country now where if you think a certain way or speak a certain way, you will get sued. You'll be called a racist. You'll be called a bigot. We live in a country right now, and this is so hard to believe, we live in a country right now where people are not free to say what they want to say. We live in a country right now. This one blows me away, Brittany. This one blows me away. This country was founded upon religious freedom. If you really want to get down to it, I'll argue with you. This country, our founders started it and because they wanted to break away from the king, break away from the tyrants. They wanted to be able to practice their faith. And now we live in an America totally upside down where people can't even live their freedom anymore. Now look. Now look. Okay, same-sex marriage. Anybody can marry anybody. A boy can marry a boy, a girl can marry a girl, you can marry your sister, you can marry your left shoe, you can marry your dog. Anybody now in America, and we laugh. We laugh. See, I love to laugh. High five. I love to laugh just like you like to laugh about where America is. I cry about where America is, but I want you to think about this. Right now, you live in a country where anybody can marry anybody. I want you to realize when you have kids in another 8 to 10 to 12 years, people will be able to marry anybody's. Oh, you thought it was just going to be boy can marry boy and girl can marry girl? Heck no. Now it's going to be, and people are already suing around America to be able to marry more than one person. Okay, that's fine. I believe in traditional marriage. I believe a man should marry a woman. I believe, look, if you want to be gay, if you want to be transgender, if you want to think you're a girl on Wednesdays and a boy on Tuesdays, live your life, man. Do what you want. I give, but don't make me participate in it. Don't make me give up my religious beliefs because you want to get married. Seems pretty fair, right? Even us who are Christian, even probably everybody in this room who believes in traditional marriage, that seems like fair. We lost the marriage debate. Okay, go ahead and get married, but I'm a baker, man, and see, over here I bake cakes. Here's a big cake. I love to bake cakes, okay? Go ahead, you two guys. Get married. God bless you. But don't force me to bake a cake for your wedding. That just seems sort of fair, right? Gone. Stop there for a minute. That's gone. You understand that now, right? I don't have to start a whole new class now, do I? You understand where we are? Right now in America, technically speaking, in America, the government can force me to bake a cake. You get that, right? That's where we are. If I'm a florist, the government can force me to arrange flowers for your wedding. If I'm a really great, cool couple and I own a family farm down the street from campus and a lesbian couple comes up to me and they want their wedding reception on my family farm and I am a Christian and God bless you, you two lesbians, have a great life, but it goes against my religious beliefs, I'm not talking to you. Oh, the look I got. I want you to have a good life with your partner. I'm not talking to you. Right now, as we sit here in the year 2016, the state of Virginia, the government of the United States, can force that couple who owns that family farm to host that wedding reception. Now I don't know how you can say that and still say you're a free human being. Okay? That's where we are now. That's where we are now. Jordan mentioned I'm a big gun guy. Man, everybody in this room should be packing right now as far as I'm concerned. You all should. Every American has a God-given right to... Who is? Raise your hands right now. I don't care. I'm glad. I feel safe. Everybody in America has a God-given right to protect themselves and their family. You understand and you get that in a lot of places in America right now, you don't have that right. Illinois was the last state in the country last year to finally enact concealed carry legislation. But it's so ridiculous that you can only carry when you come out of your house for 50 feet and that's it. It's so restrictive. I carry everywhere. I carry my gun everywhere because I have a God-given right to make sure I stay alive. Now, I say a lot of things on the radio. I get death threats all the time. I say a lot of things about Muslims. You ask me a question, I'll tell you what I believe. I get death threats all the time. There's no way the government's going to tell me I can't carry a gun to protect myself. Why? Because it's my God-given right. I have a right in this country to say Obama sucks. I have a right in this country to say George W. Bush spent money like a drunken sailor. I have a right in this country to say the Republican Party sucks. I have a right to stand in the middle of Liberty University tomorrow afternoon. Oh, I'd have to be careful what I said. But pretty much say, look at my wife, I can always tell. And say whatever I want. Why do we even have trouble with this? Why do we even have trouble with this? So how'd we get here? How'd we get here? I'm a Republican. I've been a Republican my whole life. I was the biggest, I know because I'm such a handsome, debonair guy now, I was the biggest dweeb when I was a kid. I had Ronald Reagan, before Reagan became president. In 1976, I graduated from 8th grade. Oh my God, am I old? In 1970, oh my God, it's hard to say that. In 1970, do you guys even remember, do you know that 1976 was a year? How many people, how many of you young punks have heard of 1976? I was in 8th grade. And in 8th grade, I had a big poster of Ronald Reagan behind my bed. I was a nerd. Some young guys had pictures of women. I had pictures of politicians. I was a nerd. I'm a Republican. I got elected in 2010. I went to Congress as a Republican. I tried to get re-elected in 2012 as a Republican. I've always loved the Republican Party. It pains me to say this. It pains me to say what I'm about to say. And every time I say this, I go a little bit further. I go a little bit further in the ocean, and I hate to swim. Man, I don't like going in the ocean. I think everywhere I go there's a shark. I'm afraid of water. There. Now you know some Joe Walsh inside baseball. I'm afraid of horses, and I'm afraid of the water. Don't you dare let me swim with a horse. I'd be a nightmare. Every time I say this, I go a little bit further. So I'm going to go a little bit further now. We got to this point in this country where, God love you, young, beautiful faces, we are bankrupting you. We're bankrupting you. We got to a point in this country where America is financially and morally bankrupt. And you know, again, I know I've spent a lot of time so far on the moral, the fact that the country's morally bankrupt, the country's financially bankrupt. It goes hand in hand. I know you don't know what that means. I know you kind of do, but you don't. Joe, we're $20 trillion in debt. That's a lie. It's really about $200 trillion. Social Security is going to be gone in 15 years. I know you kind of really don't know what that means. Medicare is going to be gone in 8 years. I know you kind of really don't know what that means. Medicaid in most states is going to be belly up within 10 years. I know you kind of don't know what that means. When I say we have a government we can't afford. We have a government we can't afford. I know that goes in one ear and out the other ear, but this country right now is bankrupt. I mean bankrupt. I've spent a lot of time talking about transgenders and gay marriage because I think morally something going on. When I grew up and you all grew up in such a simple time, there used to be in America, this is so cool. Follow me, I'm going to speak really slowly. In America, a long time ago, there were boys and there were girls. Two genders. And when a boy had to go to the bathroom, he went over there. And when a girl had to go to the bathroom, she went over there. We laugh because this is like so cool. This former congressman looks like an absolute idiot. But it was a simpler time. It was a really simple time. And in high school, and I don't know if boys and girls still shower after gym class in high school or whatever, but in my day, after you took gym, you took a shower because you didn't want to stink all day. And in my day, the boys showered with the boys and the girls showered with the girls. Again, I don't mean to harp on this issue because I want to talk about that financial, but you understand, don't you, right now, we live in an America where this boy can sue the government or sue a school or sue a school district to be able to shower with the girls. And right now that's happening all over the country. I got a high school where I live right outside Palatine. He's a boy. He's a transgender boy. He has male, how can I say this diplomatically, because I got to watch my language. He has male equipment. But right now he sued. Right now he sued the school district. And so right now the school district has to allow this boy to shower in the girls' locker room. I usually focus more on the financial. But I go to bed every night just crying about the moral. But we got here, and can anybody tell me, does anybody know of any Republican in Washington that talks like this? Can you give me somebody? Does the Republican Party, what does the Republican Party do? Does the Republican Party talk like this? And again, remember there are two parties, right? We know what the Democrats are. They're very good at what they do, right? You've heard me say this before, but they told me when I was in Washington, the Democrats did. See, the Democrats believe in big government. The Democrats want everybody dependent upon big government. So every day the Democrats try to get more people dependent on government. It works, and that's why government grows. But what in God's name has the Republican Party been doing? What has the Republican Party been doing? The Democrats, and it's not just Obama. Look, Obama's like a totally abnormal example. The Democrat Party, as a party, they want all this government. They believe in it. They tell you that privately, they tell us publicly. What in God's name does the Republican Party stand for? By the way, can anybody tell me I'm a Republican and I don't know what they stand for? And don't use Donald Trump as an example because we don't know what's in his head, and none of us would want to be in his head. Trump is with us because the Republican Party sucks. And this is what it looks like when the Republican Party has fallen apart. You get a guy like Donald Trump. The Republican Party did this to themselves. The Republican Party deserves Trump. The Republican Party deserves a guy who we are going to nominate, and none of us know what he believes. And by the way, there's a part of me that likes Trump. Do I still have friends? There's a part of me that likes Trump. God, yes. Our political system is broken. The Republican Party is broken. I don't think Trump knows what he's saying, and I'm really certain that he doesn't believe a lot of what he says. But you know what? The American people are angry, and he's the only guy that's taken his finger and touched that anger. Not Cruz, not little Marco Rubio, not Jeb. Do you guys remember the movie Edward Scissorhands? John Kasich. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody, but not Ted Cruz. I got to work on my Ted Cruz. Oh, you don't like my Ted Cruz. None of them. You know, everybody said we've got such a great field, right? A year ago, we were all talking about this amazing field of candidates. Oh my God, Rand Paul, John Kasich, Ted Cruz, Scott Walker, Bobby Jindal, Rick Perry. These guys, remember, it's like we're talking about dinosaurs. Remember the great list of candidates we have and had. What happened to them? A reality TV star with bad hair beat them. Oh my gosh. If that's not an indictment of the Republican Party, nothing is. Nothing is. If I ask you what the Republican Party stands for, nobody can give me an answer. If I ask you lately what the Republican Party articulates and advocates, nobody can give me an answer. Nobody can. Because they don't know. You know, the country would be a lot better. And when I was in Congress, I remember having this conversation with the former Speaker, John Boehner, who clearly doesn't like Ted Cruz, right? I mean, I think Lucifer, I think that's an insult. I remember asking my former speaker, John Boehner, Mr. Speaker, government keeps growing, our debt keeps growing, we're like broke, the Democrats love all of this. Why don't we stand for the opposite, Mr. Speaker? Why don't we stand for less government? Why don't we cut spending? And like a little kid, John Boehner would always pat me on my head because I was a freshman. Walsh, you're a good, cute kid. Don't worry. We'll get Mitt Romney elected and happy days will be here again. They don't believe it. We're here, you guys. We're here. And I know, look, how many people consider, if you're a Republican or a Democrat, how many people consider yourselves to be more Republican? Raise your hands. Now, get them up. Typically, traditionally, you vote Republican. Okay, put them down. Then we all belong to the same family, right? And when I was in D.C., I spent 92.5% of my time criticizing Republicans. The rest I went after Pelosi, Reid, and Obama. But mostly I went to D.C. and I pounded my Republican Party because my Republican Party I thought was my family. I come from a big family, 7 boys, 2 girls. And boy, I'll tell you, we would fight like cats and dogs, but if anybody looked at one of my brothers funny, I'd punch him. I'd go after him. My family, the Republican Party is my family. And so I can say as a Republican, our family has gone bad. That's why we're here. If the Democrats believe in big government, the Republicans don't know what they believe in. If the Democrats keep growing government so people will vote for them, right? Give people free stuff, right? We all laugh about it. Free college, free health care, free jobs, free everything. That's what the Democrats do. They're very good at it, and it works. And let's not be stupid. Let's be honest. It works, right? When you give people free stuff, what do people tend to do? Come on! What do people tend to do? I'm going to give you a new outfit for the rest of your life. What are you going to do for me? I'm running for office. What are you going to do?
Vote.
Oh! I've got to vote! This is what we've done year after year, election after election. Politicians come around and they give us stuff, and we laugh, but what's going on now? It's not just Bernie. Oh, feel the burn. It's not just Bernie. It's not just Bernie. Hillary's doing the same thing. Hillary, free college. Hillary, I'll forgive your student loans. Hillary, I'll raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Hillary's doing the same thing. And you know what? You know what? You know what? It's going to work. It's going to work. Some of you have heard me say this before. When I run for president in 2020, here's my campaign slogan. Pardon my language. Hi, my name's Joe Walsh. I'm running for president. If you vote for me, I'm not giving you a damn thing. I'm not. Hello, everybody. My name is Joe Walsh. I'm running for president. By golly, if you give me your vote, I'm not going to give you a damn thing. Hey out there, I want your vote, but if you want to go to college, you got to pay for it yourself. And by the way, and again, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn because, you know, a lot of these young people, and don't laugh, right now there are governments all around the country that give people free contraceptives. Well, okay, if you want to have relations with whoever, okay, you got to pay for that yourself. And by the way, if you want health care for yourself and your family, you go out and get it. And by the way, if you want a job that pays you a lot of money, I ain't giving it to you. I'm Joe Walsh. I'm running for president. If you want a good job and you want to make money, get off your butt and go out there and earn good money. All I'm going to do if you elect me president, how am I doing? Do I have anybody's vote in this room? No. You guys are weird. You're not normal. Liberty's not normal. And by the way, let's stop there. Oh, I'd like to stand on things, but I know if I stand on that, I'm going to fall. You are not normal, Liberty. God love you and God bless you that you're not normal. Oh, get out of this. Can I say it? Can I offend you? High five me before I offend you. High five me, I'm about to offend you. High five me, I'm gonna offend you. Can I offend you? You guys live in a bubble. Yeah, we like our bubble. I like my bubble. Keep me in my bubble. We're all Christian. We're generally all conservative. Life is really cool here. Man, I go on college campuses all over the country. And when I go on college campuses and I speak like this to college students, I put some college students in tears. College students have to run to safe spaces. College students complain. It goes on everywhere. If I went around on college campuses right now and chalked, in chalk, Walsh 2020, oh my God. This is not normal. God bless you. This is what America was. America, 100 million years ago, was full of liberty universities. True, God-fearing, gun-clinging Americans who lived a life of faith, and they were free, and that thing we called government stayed out of my life. Liberty University used to be America. Now Liberty University is not normal. And I mean, it's not a criticism, it's just you are not the norm. Go to any other college campus, man. In what these kids are doing on college campuses, you can't invite people like me to speak. You can't invite people like me to speak to most college campuses. You can't allow free speech on most college campuses. If I went on most college campuses and I said, because by the way, this is what I believe, and if lightning wants to strike me, strike me. I believe Barack Obama is a Muslim. I believe Barack Obama hates America. I believe Barack Obama is trying to destroy America. I say that every day. I'm not going to stop what I'm saying. But if I went on a college campus and said those things, I would put every college kid in therapy for life. Hey, that's not a bad idea.
As long as they don't have to pay for it.
No. Liberty. God love you, liberty. This is an absolute bubble. And I don't know, I think you know this, so I want to be really direct with you. We're losing out there. People who think like I do, we're in the minority. People who think like you think, you're in the minority now in America. We're losing out there. Maybe on Liberty University we're winning, and maybe on Liberty University's campus, Joe Walsh would be really popular and I'd carry the vote. Oh my God, college students out there would tar and feather me. We're losing. When I say every day, and by the way, God bless you. When I ran for Congress and went to Congress, I only wrote one speech in my life. Does that surprise you? I never write speeches. I never have any frickin' clue what I'm going to say. But the very first speech, when I announced I was running, I wrote that speech and I memorized it. And I'll never forget the first line of that speech, the only speech I've ever written. Hello, my name is Joe Walsh. I'm running for Congress. I feel like I'm losing my country, and, I said it, I'm pissed off at Republicans and Democrats for doing this to my kids and my grandkids. I'll never forget that opening line. So when I tell you, and when I stand in front of you like naked, and I tell you that I really believe I'm losing, you're losing, we're losing our country, I really believe that. We were talking earlier today, and this is going to be bizarre, and don't worry, I'm almost done, because you're already getting sick of me. We're almost out of our bubble. You can go back to thinking about exams and what you're going to do tonight, and that cute boy and that cute girl. Do it. Not yet! You can't lock the doors. Nobody can leave for 10 more minutes. When I say I feel like I'm losing my country, and I said that 6 years ago, I mean it. And now I stand in front of people 6 years later, I think we've lost it. I think we've lost it. Trump is going to be the nominee. I don't say that with any great enthusiasm. This is what happens, as I told Caleb. This is what the end of the road looks like. Hey gang, the Republican Party, I know these guys, I worked with these guys, I like a lot of these guys. The Republican Party hasn't had courage in years. When I talk like this, my Republicans run away from me. Democrats love it, because there goes crazy Joe Walsh again. But the Republicans run away from me. We are here because the Republican Party lost courage. They will not stand for freedom. They will not stand for limited government. They will not stand for individual responsibility. They would not vote for me if I said my name is Joe Walsh, vote for me, and I'm not going to give you a damn thing. That's not what the Republican Party believes in anymore. So why are we broke? Why is this country a mess? Because we don't have a party that speaks for me. We don't have a party that speaks for you. So Trump's going to be the nominee. What's going to happen? Here's what's going to happen. With a 94% certainty. Do you want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Always wanted to say that. Love to say that. Hey, life's short. Just say what you believe, right? Hillary's probably our next president. The Republican Party's divided. Hillary's probably going to win. The Republican Party is not unified. I do not see any way the party will unify. Hey! Trump's going to be the nominee, okay? Let's assume if Trump is the nominee, then a lot of conservatives will not vote for Trump. And by the way, I get really angry when there are good conservatives, right, on both sides of Trump. I sat down with your president, had a little meeting this afternoon. Your president, Jerry. I sat down with Jerry, great guy, loves Trump. There are good, decent conservatives on both sides of Trump. Can we say that? Can we believe that? Okay? But here's the deal. If Trump's the nominee, a bunch of conservatives will never vote for him. If Trump's the nominee, you will probably get a third candidate. You will probably get a conservative candidate. If Trump's the nominee, this is what really angers me. I know this because they've told me this. If Trump's the nominee, many people in the Republican Party establishment will publicly support Hillary. Publicly support Hillary. If Trump is the nominee, Hillary wins. The party is divided. But let's imagine, old white guys should never try to dance. Let's imagine that Trump isn't the nominee. Let's imagine something happens and they take it away from Trump. Let's imagine Trump doesn't get to 1237 and he doesn't get it on the first ballot. And Cleveland is like this and they give it to Ted Cruz. We all like Ted Cruz. Done. The party's divided. Trump walks. All the people who support Trump walk. The establishment doesn't like Cruz. We don't talk about that enough. Because the establishment hates Trump. The establishment hates Cruz. Every Republican that I worked with in D.C. doesn't like Ted Cruz. So if Cruz is the nominee, the establishment quietly won't help him. And Trump and his millions will walk. The party's divided, Hillary wins. Let's say that Cleveland is really like crazy, and Trump doesn't get it, and Cruz doesn't get it, and in flies a savior. Tinkerbell Mitt Romney. Or Tinkerbell Paul Ryan. Somebody swoops in to be the savior. Man, if that happens, the Republican Party will break up the next day. All of Trump's people will walk. All of Cruz's people will walk. Party's done. Hillary wins. The party's divided. Hey, do you see what I'm saying? By the way, you're going to leave tonight with a smile on your face because I got good news.
Are you running in 2016?
You're terrible. I'm about to call security.
Sorry, am I violating your safe space?
Do you see? Do you see? Hey, cold medicine. Let's be real. Let's face facts. Do you see how hard it's going to be for us to beat Hillary? It's almost like too late. No matter how you do it, no matter how you slice it, it's almost too late. The party's going to be divided. Will there be a third party? Will there be a new Republican Party? What's going to happen after November, Joe? Please tell me. Oh, Joe, tell me. What's going to happen? I don't know, but I do know this.
Oh, God.
I do know this. By the way, the most dangerous seats in the house, right here, because I kick and I hit and I throw. What I know is the Republican Party after November is not going to look like the Republican Party now. It's going to be totally different. And yeah, was that me? Big government sucks. And yeah, it sucks that we all live right now in this moment in time watching the end of the Republican Party. It's hard that we live in America right now when everything's reaching this point. Our side is divided, and our side is not for sure, but probably going to lose. And that woman named Hillary, who nobody likes, well, we know Bill doesn't like her. Oh my God. We've always known Bill doesn't like her. Nobody likes Hillary, and she's going to be our president. But we're here. Nobody in this room, this big, wonderful room, nobody got to tell God that I wanted to live now. Nobody got to pick the time that the good Lord brought you down onto this earth. We just happen to be here right now. You happen to be 20-some years old. I happen to be 84 right now, at the onset of what I believe is the third American Revolution. And I think that's where we are. I think the party breaks up. I think Hillary wins. I think something ugly happens. I think there's going to be a lot of fighting. I think we could be in the wilderness for 30 or 40 years. I don't know. With these cool things, maybe we won't have to be in the wilderness for 30 or 40 years. You better not be texting Obama. What are you doing? Tweeting about me. I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. But I guess the hope I want to give is this. I don't think, and I don't know why Turning Point USA invites me to speak anymore, because I'm a Debbie Downer, aren't I? I'm not a Debbie Downer, because I got great hope. But I don't think I'm going to see another Republican president in my lifetime. I don't think I will live to ever see this country turn around, if it does. And yeah, I can't tell a lie. I have a beautiful wife. Together we have 5 kids. I have 2 dogs. I want a 3rd dog. I love dogs. Hint, hint, hint. I go to bed every night pretty sad about things. Hey, by the way, what you're watching right now, me do this, I do this 4 hours every day. For 4 hours every day, I grab a microphone and I punch. And by the way, that reminds me. Oh my God, I'm glad I thought of this. Why are we where we are right now? Because again, remember I said you got 2 parties, right, Helen? We got 2 parties, right? The Democrat Party and whatever this party is, right? But here's the thing about the Democrats, too. The Democrats fight. The Democrats kick. The Democrats steal. The Democrats cheat. Man, I could keep you here all night if I told you some of the frightening things Democrats told me. The Democrats wake up every day purposely changing your country. They go to war. We Republicans don't fight. We Republicans like to have nice hair. Pretty dresses, a nice suit coat. I don't want to take this suit coat off because I have like 13 microphones tied to me. I don't know what's going to happen. We Republicans don't fight. A Democrat will get on the house of the floor of Congress and swear in front of the American people that those evil Republicans want to take away Medicare and they want to push my grandmother off a cliff. The Democrats will say stuff like that all the time. And then the Republican will come down. I saw this every day in Congress. A Republican will come down and they'll put like a 4,934-page PowerPoint in front of the American people, and they'll take 7 days to explain why financially Medicare can be saved if we only look at these financial regression models. And over there you got a Democrat saying, Republicans want to kill my grandma! Well, no, that's not true. Look at page 2,374. I ran the regression on that, in fact, and if you push the wheelchair at a certain speed, Grandma won't die. No! Republicans want to kill Grandma! And we Republicans debate. We Republicans discuss. Come here, stand up. Put your phone down.
Okay.
Hold my hands. We Republicans dance because we're so good and polite. We don't want to anger anybody. Are you having fun? I can't dance. This is what the country is burning every day. In fact, right now, every half an hour, 30 more. Come on, keep moving with me. You're doing really well. Every 30 minutes, we're adding another $50 million to your debt. Keep dancing with me, okay? We're going more broke by the minute. And as this is happening, and transgenders are going to the bathroom everywhere, and Democrats are destroying this country. Look, what are we Republicans doing? Oh, we're having a gay old time. We're dancing. We're just having a swell time. Go sit down. This is what Republicans do. My God, the house is burning down. And Democrats want to talk about things. Republicans do. We don't fight. Yeah, I'm exhausted every day because for 4 hours every day I go to war. And I know you are all God-fearing Christians. And I guess what I'm saying is you're lucky, you're fortunate, because as young Christian men and young Christian women, when we live right now, God's asked you to fight. You can go to church all you want. Read the Bible all you want, man. Read the Bible all you want. Study your favorite verse. Analyze the Bible. Get into your little book clubs and your study groups and think about Jesus and pray. Oh my God, pray all day long. But if as Christian men and women you don't fight, the country's gone. I mean, it's gone. If you don't fight, the country's gone. If you think I'm just a faithful Christian who's going to live a good life as Jesus would want me to live, God bless you, but the country's lost. You've been called, I think we all have been called to live now. That may be the stupidest thing I ever said, because I'm here now. We've been called to live now. And I think in America to live now means we fight. Because I'm going to go to my grave, at this rate, I'm probably going to go to my grave next week. I'm going to go to my grave in another year, 10, 20, or 30. And I know my kids are in their 20s. I know I'm not going to see America turn around. But I fight every day so that you guys might. I fight every day so my kids might. That's all. I'm not doing it for me. You're not doing it for you. You're not doing it for you. We got kids. We got grandkids. I wish my kids would hurry up because I want grandkids. We're not doing it for us. My generation believes America is lost. Everybody know who Dennis Prager is? Wonderful, great radio guy. Dennis Prager, listen to him. Brilliant, brilliant man. I steal his line all the time. I was out in California a couple months ago at an event with Prager, and somebody said to Prager, Mr. Prager, you're like really a pessimist. Why are you a pessimist? And he said, that's why I fight! I fight because I'm a pessimist. I fight because I think we're losing. I fight because I believe we've lost, as Nicholas said, we've lost the greatest thing God's ever given the planet. That's why I fight. If I thought things were just hunky-dory, I wouldn't be here. I'd be at home right now drinking something and smoking a cigar and putting my feet up and watching the Chicago Cubs, the best team in baseball, by the way. Oh! No! Because I think things stink, I fight. I'm accused of being a pessimist. I don't know, pick another word, but yeah, I think we're losing. It's Liberty, it's the middle of the fourth quarter, and we're down a couple touchdowns. We're losing. Yeah. What are you going to do? You just going to sit around, or are you going to do something about it? I'm going to close with this. The toughest thing to say to you right now, and I already said it, so I can't walk it back. the toughest thing to say is that Hillary's probably going to get elected. I want to say two things about that. What's the key word in that sentence? Probably. Hang on to that. Probably. She could get indicted. Who knows? Probably. She could say something stupid in 4 months. Probably. Donald Trump. Oh my God. Donald Trump could win. There are people who like Trump who don't vote Republican. I'm telling you what, I talk to them every day. Hillary probably is going to win, but not for sure. And if Trump's the nominee, and he will be, maybe you're not going to work for Trump. Don't work for Trump if you don't want to. But work to make sure a Republican senator wins, or your Republican member of Congress wins, or your Republicans in the state house win, okay? Pick Republicans that you believe in, that talk like this and think like this. Pick them and help them. Hillary probably is going to win, but it's not for sure. But more importantly, I don't care who wins. America's still going like this. Doesn't matter if it's Trump or Cruz or Kasich or Hillary or Bernie. I guess it matters if it's Bernie. I don't care who your president is. This country that began up here free is moving towards slavery. And that's not changing until, as Turning Point USA would say, more people want freedom and not free stuff. As long as more people in America want free stuff and not freedom, America's going like this. I don't care who your president is. It's our job to convince people, as Turning Point USA does, as Christians for Freedom does, as all of these great groups do. We got to educate, wake people up, and convince people that freedom's better than free stuff. And it's going to take years. But that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. In the next 20 years, you're going to see fighting on the street. You're going to see states trying to secede from the Union. You're going to see American taxpayers stop paying taxes. You're going to see God-fearing, law-abiding men and women arm themselves against their government. I think some pretty wonderful stuff is going to happen. I said wonderful purposely. Christians! Thomas Jefferson said, what did Jefferson say? And he didn't say this 100,000 years ago. Thomas Jefferson said this 230 some years ago. Every couple of generations, you've got to shed blood. Every couple of generations, you have to fight to preserve what we were given. One of our founding fathers said that only 230 some years ago. I'm prepared to do that. You have to too, and you're younger than me. Much younger than me. She will not win for sure, probably, but it doesn't matter. If she does, we still have a tough, tough fight, which is why what these groups do is so important. This is the game. This is the game. It's not the election. Yeah, we want to win the election, but it's not that. We got to change hearts and minds. We got to turn people onto freedom. We got to turn people onto limited government. We got to turn people onto individual responsibility. That's going to take a while. Young people always ask me, what should I do with my life? I always say, make money and support causes that fight for freedom and limited government. If I were you, I would make money as much as you can, always carry wherever you can, and give money to support causes that support freedom and limited government. Because in the next 20 to 30 years, that's where the fight is. Let me stop there. Thank you. Renee!
Okay, guys. All right, so we would like to open it up for Q&A now. So if you have any questions that you thought of during the night or anything you'd like to ask, you can just raise your hand and I'll bring them up to you, and you can ask Mr. Walsh whatever is on your mind.
You can ask me anything, I'll answer anything. Fire away, young man.
I am curious as to If the Republican Party and the Democratic Party don't suck, why would you not endorse like the Libertarian Party?
I may. And I may vote for whoever the Libertarian candidate is. And by the way, it could be the Libertarian Party that replaces whatever comes next. Absolutely. All the way in the corner. I can hear you.
Well, I'm obviously old enough to share your opinion that this is not the country I grew up in.
Yes.
I don't think I share quite the same pessimism that you have. I am pessimistic, but, you know, Hillary's negatives are through the roof, just like Trump's negatives are through the roof. And the country has lurched to the left, obviously, but I think the government has lurched to the left a little bit faster or more than the general population has. There's a lot of people, left-leaning independents, that I don't think are going to vote for Hillary. She's been around for decades, and they're just not going to vote for her the way people were never Trump. So I don't know what's going to happen with this election, but the Republican
That's
Party,
fair, by the way.
Yeah.
We may have a better chance of winning than I am pretending.
I think you know, I'm a Ted Cruz guy, and you know, he obviously is much more of a constitutional.
A pure constitutional conservative.
And I think what we really need in this country is a great awakening, a spiritual revival. Politically, you know, just getting back to the Constitution would help a lot, and I think Ted Cruz can get us there. But you know, the Republican Party is divided, and we've got this Trump. And by the way, also, you know, the leaders, as much as they suck, right? They really reflect the people. I mean, the
Amen.
people get the leaders that they
Amen.
deserve. And
You
so
get the government you deserve.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the Democratic Party is the new communist, and the Republican Party is the new Democrats. And I think something of the Tea Party or something of that nature is kind of rising up to fill the conservatives' space. But you asked what the Republicans stand for, and I think it's cronyism.
It's what?
Cronyism. So
Yeah.
What, who said it? Carly. You said it recently that the Democrats are big spenders and the Republicans now are big buyers. And they're both the same side of the same coin. I don't really know. I don't have a question. I just.
No, really great. No, wonderful, interesting thoughts. And again, I know I may be too harsh on what's going to happen this year. Fair. Hillary is a very weak candidate. A lot of Democrats are very displeased with Hillary. Hillary's only chance, and it's funny, I say Hillary's only chance because she's probably going to win, is to just grab Trump and say, I'm running against this guy. And hope that by doing that, it pisses off young people, it pisses off minorities, it pisses off and scares women. That's Hillary's only chance. Hillary won't say anything else. I'm running against him. You're right about Ted Cruz. Great constitutional conservative. But man, this is about the American people finding the Constitution again. And I don't think that comes through a leader or a candidate. That's got to be a groundswell. Questions? Yes, young man. You gun nut. Guns save lives? Oh my God, are you a gun nut? Fire away.
So this little group here is from NC State, and so we had HB2. We're just wondering what you think, because like there's obvious power grabs from local governments in the bill, but there's also the bathroom stuff. So what do you think is going on with that? Jared, you got an opinion on it?
I came this close to moving to North Carolina 2 weeks ago, just to stand with North Carolina. Oh my God! And again, I know we simplify things, but I'm going to simplify because politicians complicate things. You understand what North Carolina did. To simplify, North Carolina said, and I'm simplifying, man, if you, I don't care what you identify as, if you still have male equipment, you can't pee over here with the girls. Something so simple. And now all of America is boycotting your wonderful state. Corporations staying out of North Carolina. The NBA said no All-Star game next year. The NCAA said no Final Four. Everybody's staying away from North Carolina. Bruce Springsteen, Hollywood music. My fear is the governor in North Carolina may back down because Indiana backed down. We're losing this fight. What North Carolina did makes so much sense to us, but it's going to take so much courage for North Carolina to stand strong, because every day they're getting pounded on. Every single day. And I haven't even gotten into the issue of federalism. So North Carolina makes a law, and then what does Obama do? I'm going to cut off funds to North Carolina. I'm going to sue North Carolina. Get out of here. In North Carolina, I can do whatever I want. Absolutely. And now your governor is going to have a real tough re-election because of it. It's a shame. Yes, sir.
Do you think Bernie supporters could possibly boycott Hillary as well because they're seemingly so far left of her?
So I'm asked this all the time. Hey, Joe, the Republicans are divided, but Joe, look at Bernie. The Democrats are divided too. Here's the deal with Democrats. With Republicans, there's a real divide. Like me and Mitch McConnell. We have two totally different visions of America. There's a real divide. Guys like Cruz, guys like Rand Paul, guys like Mike Lee, they believe in this, limited government. Most of the party doesn't. It's a real divide. On the Democrat side, they all pretty much believe in big government. Hillary can't articulate it very well. There will be some Democrats that won't support her. A lot of young people won't vote for her. But generally, my experience is Democrats are like stupid robots. And they're going to line up and do what they're told and generally support their nominee more than Republicans will.
In your opinion, why do you think that one-on-one John Kasich and Hillary Clinton, John Kasich wins in most of the polls?
Because nobody cares about Kasich. My God, everybody's ignoring John Kasich. John Kasich's doing really well against Hillary Clinton right now. That's because nobody gives a darn about John Kasich. Nobody has said anything bad about John Kasich. And once the American people see John Kasich stand up and give a speech and do this, John Kasich's done. No, so the polls show that Kasich's beating Hillary right now because nobody truthfully knows who Kasich is. That will change.
We have two right here.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned succession. What do you think about that? Like, if Hillary does end up getting elected and things continue down this path of immorality and all this stuff, do you think that's possible? And if it's possible, what do you think about it?
Secession, and it's a big deal, guys. This is like, we're talking really scary, radical stuff. I say bring it on. I say bring it on. Texas has got to get up off their butt. Every year Texas votes for secession. Do it! Quit voting for it. Do it! Yeah, I love Texas. God love Texas. The whole country should be Texas. We'd all be better off if we were Texas. Yes. Look, this country, again, we're not 10,000 years old, right? We are 50 states, right? Texas, my youngest son is in college at the University of San Francisco. He's a good libertarian. I go out and visit him, and I look at these people in San Francisco, and I listen to these people in San Francisco. By the way, San Francisco, nobody works. They're all on government aid, and I think to myself, I got nothing in common with these people. I think to myself, the guy living in the middle of Texas lives in a totally different country than that woman in San Francisco. I know it scares people, but I believe in the next 10 to 15 years, you will have states doing this. Time out. Screw you, DC. I've had it. We're done. Now, to literally do that is difficult. In fact, we had a civil war, didn't we? So, but bring it on. Bring it on. Questions? Yes, sir.
First of all, thank you for coming out here.
Thank you for coming out.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it and learned from it. Throughout your talk, you mentioned a lot about the general election, about the odds of Hillary versus Trump and Hillary likely becoming the next president. But you didn't really talk about what would be, in my opinion, a disaster for the United States if Trump were president. What are your thoughts on that? And also, do you think it would be just as bad, if not worse, than a Hillary presidency?
It's a great question, because you know what? You caught me. You caught me. What you said there was, Congressman, you've been lying to me. You haven't told us about Trump. What's going to happen if Trump gets elected? It's a great question. By the way, guys, who's having fun right now? I'm so glad you all took some time. How awesome is this? Thank you. I don't want to go back to Illinois. Illinois sucks. It does. I live next to Chicago. We gave you Barack Obama. Sorry. Okay, here's my deal with Trump. I have come this close for the last 6 months. And by the way, Trump blocked me on Twitter 8 months ago. What a baby! Trump blocked me because I said something mean about him. I've come this close over the last 4 months to endorsing Trump about 13 times. Here's my deal with Trump. I don't know. Do I believe Donald Trump is a constitutional conservative? Pardon my French, hell no. Do I believe Donald Trump believes in freedom and limited government? No. If Trump's the nominee, will I support Trump? And I am a hardcore libertarian conservative. I will probably support Trump. Why? Because there are 2 issues I care deeply about. All the people that come into this country illegally. It's wrong, and Americans are dying because of it. And I'm sorry, not to get politically incorrect, we got a problem with Islam, gang. We got a real problem with Muslims. And Donald Trump is the only candidate who, in my mind, has said, I'm going to do something about this threat from Muslims, and I'm going to do something about the illegals. If Donald Trump would only do something on those 2 issues, then all the disaster he might do on anything else, I'd be okay with. But look, would I be happy if Trump were president? No. Because I don't believe in his bones. He's got what you and I believe. I don't. But see, here's what I want. It doesn't matter to me. Oh my God, I want you to be president. Actually, I'd rather have you be president. It doesn't matter to me. I want the system to blow up. I want the Republican Party to be cleansed. I really don't care what happens. If Trump is president, I think he'd probably be, oh, this is on tape, I got to be careful. I think he may be a disaster. I think Donald Trump may not be a very good president. I don't know, but it doesn't matter to me. I want freedom and I want limited government. And I know that's not him. But I'm not a never Trumper yet. Yes, ma'am.
So I'm an immigrant.
From?
Canada.
Thank you, thank you. Phew! I was about to call people. I was about to make the phone call.
I've been in the United States since I was 4. I'm 19. And I am not a citizen. Because
our system sucks.
Right.
Our system sucks.
To the tune of $200,000.
Yes.
I'm not a citizen. And
Absolutely.
you've been talking tonight about needing to fight. We're here to fight. I want to fight.
And you
but I
can't.
can't.
Yeah.
What is my role?
Are you still pursuing citizenship?
Absolutely.
Are you getting closer? It's a disaster, by the way.
It is an absolute disaster.
And think about this. People can walk across the border illegally, come into America, and right away the government puts them on government assistance. Right now, on average, legally, if you want to do it the right way, if you want to come into America the right way, on average it takes you 12 years and it costs you $25,000 if you want to do it the right way. How messed up is that? And you, sounds like you've even gone through more.
Yeah, you want to know why I'm not a citizen?
Why?
Because I have to pay to take a blood test to prove that I don't have a disease from Canada.
Oh, it's our legalization system here is terrible. So what can you do? Try,
can I do?
You know what? Try your darndest to be a citizen. I mean, just keep doing what you need to do to become a citizen, and stay active and stay engaged. So when you become a citizen, you can start to fight. But that's a great point. Our system is so upside down in this country. Other questions, guys? Thoughts, issues, questions? Yes, ma'am. Brittany! You look like you're a low talker. That's why I wanted the mic. I'm guessing. By the way, are there any Seinfeld fans in here? Now, let me ask you a question. Do you remember the low talker? Does anybody in here remember the low talker? Well, or was it a close talker? I didn't know the close talker was this. Do you remember the close talker? Yes. That was the close talker. I love Seinfeld. There's the talker. And then there's the, I forgot that one. Fire. You had a question.
So I'm from Texas, and I was wondering.
Texas!
I was wondering, how do you see this secession playing out?
This is a radical group. I want to secede now, doggone it.
Oh my God. Helene, we're not leaving. I'm at home here. Let's secede. Virginia, let's break away. By the way, the last secession was, or the last breakup was, by the way, West Virginia and Virginia was the last time we had a state literally secede from each other. Right now, in 9 states around the country, talking about secession, in 9 states around the country, counties have sued to secede from the state. Rural counties, like in Colorado, rural counties in Colorado have sued to secede from Denver. In Illinois, always, man, we'd like to throw Chicago into Lake Michigan. The rest of Illinois is always trying to secede from Chicago. So how does it work? You know what? Our founders made it very difficult. You need to get a certain majority of Congress, and then you need to get like 2/3 of state legislatures to approve it. Hence, stuff like that probably wouldn't happen. Hence, that's why these things tend to lead to a fight. So I do believe if a state ultimately says we're going to secede, they're probably going to have to do it on their own. But doggone it, if Texas does, I'm crawling down from Illinois and I'm signing up. Yes? Questions? All the way, bow tie, stand up. Hey, by the way, ladies in here, pretty nice looking crop of men all around the room. I'm just saying. Yes, sir. And I wasn't talking about you. I'm kidding! Oh, by the way, that's another thing. Like, and I know liberty's different, but it's like everybody, we all get so easily offended. Right? Everybody's feelings are hurt. Oh, Donald Trump scares me. He's mean. Oh, grow up. You had a question.
Yes, you talked about earlier about people, the main problem, or one of the main problems with people is that, like, their lack of knowledge and how they need to rediscover the Constitution. If they rediscover the people who founded America, the principles and stuff that they founded upon, then they would probably be more apt to do things and go vote for stuff and stuff. So my question is essentially, what do you think the best way to go about that is? How do I approach somebody who doesn't want to read, who doesn't care about reading, who would just rather play video games all day, and try to educate them? Do you think that should be done through the family system, or through society, through music, or through the church? Or?
That's a good question. Look, my favorite founding father, you know by now, is Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson said, here's the deal, gang. I'm giving you a country, and it's going to take 2 to make this country go. Our representatives got to do their stuff. They got to represent us, and we, the represented, we got to pay attention. We got to stay informed. We got to stay educated. If you both don't do that, the thing breaks. And to your point, we've grown fat, lazy, and stupid. The American people are stupid. They no longer understand. How do you get them to wise up and learn about what America was? Stuff like that's got to come from family. It's got to come from community. It's got to come from church. It should come from school. But you're talking about a lot of Americans who live in families, and the families don't even understand it. Man, I come from Chicago, and you've got generations of inner city black families in Chicago who don't even know there was a Constitution. How are young people ever going to get this? We got to try, but it's almost impossible. If you don't want to learn, you join a group like Turning Point. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. You join a group like Christians for Freedom. You get your friends to try to join. It's got to happen organically. You get people. There are a lot of people like me that speak all over the country. But But I think until people, to really answer your question, until people are down on their knees and they're hurting, they're not going to really wake up, especially young people. So you learn and you get smart and you make money and then you help other people learn. Give money to good causes that will educate people. And by the way, did you know I said that a lot? You make money. You do well. You become rich. You become successful and then support good causes. I know we're all Christians, but I want to be rich. Everybody should want to be rich. Rich is good. By golly, if Mitt Romney, every day I want to hit Mitt Romney. By the way, you know how weird that is to wake up in the morning and you want to hit Mitt Romney? If Mitt Romney had spoken like this, he'd be president. Mitt Romney's really rich. Obama attacked him for being rich. And what did Romney do? I'm very sorry that I'm rich. I'll never do that again. In fact, let's tax the rich. Mitt Romney should have stood up and said, hell yeah, I'm rich. I've been very successful, and I want you to be successful. There's nothing wrong with being rich. Hey, we're judged by what we do with what we've earned, right? Make a lot of money and do good with it. That's the best way to educate people.
We have the question right over here.
This is still my first time because I didn't ask the question first. Actually, if Texas seceded, I would definitely go there and hope they built a wall on the northwestern border. But the question is, secession's pretty radical. What do you think of the Convention of the States? Is that something that's a little bit more plausible, something that actually might cause some change? And before I put the microphone, I say this a little bit in jest, but part of our problem is that politicians always lie. And you promised us you wouldn't swear. And you did. What do you say? You promised us you wouldn't swear, but you did.
I always fall off that wagon. Yes, a convention of the states would be easier. But even that's you're seeing right now, that's a heavy lift too. Who had one? Stand up, you in the blue. Stand up. You!
I have a question. I make people upset. But
You're in the
do
right
you believe
place.
that the First Amendment protects people to be able to use whatever restroom they want in a government facility or a government building?
Do I believe the First Amendment protects someone's right to use whatever bathroom they want to use?
In a government building, not in a private business.
No, to a point, and here's why. Because if I want to use whatever bathroom I want to use, and I think I have a First Amendment right to do that, when I open that door to that bathroom, and say I'm a boy, I look like a boy, and I walk into that bathroom and there's a girl in that bathroom, oh, hold on a minute. Well, that girl has rights too. That girl has privacy rights. That girl has right to use a bathroom in privacy and freedom. So the minute you do that, you butt up against somebody else's rights. So no, I would say no. And by the way, that's this whole discussion on transgender bathrooms. This is so easy. If I were king of the world, it's simple. Go ahead. Identify as however you want. Live a great Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, Stevie Jenner, Jenny Jenner, whatever you are. Be what you want to be. I could give a darn. But that doesn't mean you can pee with my 17-year-old daughter. Hey, how about that? That sounds like a pretty okay compromise. Be whatever you want to be, but I've got rights. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, a couple of things. I think why people are supporting Trump is because they feel disenfranchised by the Republicans that rolled over for the Democrats.
Yep.
And what is your favorite pizza place in Chicago and favorite place to get a steak in Chicago as well?
Oh, wow. I don't have a favorite pizza place. I love New York pizza, super thin. I don't like the deep dish stuff. And I don't know where my favorite steak place is. But Chicago has great steak. Chicago has great food. That's about it.
Okay, I think that concludes tonight. If we don't have any last-minute questions or anything. But, so we just want to give a round of applause to Mr. Walsh.